welcome back to Noah the Explorer. I'm Nena, and today I just wanted to do a simple video. So many of my videos have been long so far. So this video is just going to be short, quick, and straight to the point, okay? So basically, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of how to become a psychiatrist in the United States. Because that's where I'm based. I know things work a little bit differently in other countries, so I'm just going to focus on what I know and what I've done. So yeah, keep watching if you're interested. So typically you would do a college or university degree. Most people would do that in the sciences, so the basic sciences or biological sciences, particularly because to become a psychiatrist, you have to go to medical school, and a lot of medical schools will have science prerequisites. So a lot of us pre-meds, as we call ourselves, pre-medical students, would do biological sciences, chemistry, biochemistry, engineering degrees, but you don't have to in university. I personally wish that I had done a social science major and just taken all my prerequisites for medical school, but that's neither here nor there. But I did get a degree in biology and it was fine, but I just, towards the end, like when I was a senior, I became really interested in anthropology, and at one point I wanted to do a PhD in medical anthropology. That's how much I loved anthropology. So I really wish I had really just taken more social science classes, because if social sciences, like if my major was like anthropology or history or something, then I could take more of those classes and do my medical school prerequisites as a minor. But again, I'm not a pre-med counselor. Again, a lot of people who want to go to medical school are encouraged to do science classes as their major or their primary course of study in university, but you don't have to do that. Just know that if you take a different route, you still have to do all your prerequisites for the medical schools that you plan on applying to. So if you're a high school student or a student in college or university and you're thinking about going to medical school to become any specialty, a physician or a general practitioner, then please look into the medical schools that you're interested in, and then look at their website and see what their prerequisites are, and then go from there, because that's probably the most accurate information you'll get depending on your location or the schools that you're interested in. So after you have your university or bachelor's degree, you can apply to medical school while you're in your final year of university, or you can graduate, work, and decide to do medicine as a second career. Lots of people do that. I believe the average age in medical school is over 25. So of course people are not going straight from, university to medical school, which I did that. So I haven't had a break in over a decade. But hey, we move. Let's move on. A lot of people are actually, going to university. You do a post-baccalaureate degree. Some people do masters, some people do PhD, some people work, some people take care of their families and then come back. Some people go into nursing and then after being a nurse for several years, decide to go to medical school. So different pathways lead to medicine, okay? So I don't want anybody to be discouraged because, I didn't take science classes when I was in university, so now I can't go. That's not true. There's several ways to get the prerequisites, and then you can apply to medical school. While you're in university, if you're going the traditional path, which is university, medical school, please try to do a lot of extracurricular activities to show your interest in medicine. Talk to your guidance counselor. If your university has a pre-medical club or association or committee, definitely get involved with that, because that will help you a lot. And, just get as much information as you can. When I was going through the process, I did research, lots of clinical research in a lab with a mentor. I had lots of mentors. I had lots of professors that I would talk to and tell them my goals, and they really helped me. I go to office hours really try to do well in all my classes, make really excellent grades, and that all helps towards medicine. While you're in university, you'll probably take the MCAT, which is the medical school admissions test. The acronym is not what I just said, but you take the MCAT. Typically people score very high on the MCAT and then apply to medical school. You do 4 years of medical school. You can go to an MD or a DO program, osteopathic or allopathic. There's nothing wrong with either one. You could go to either medical school you choose, and then after 4 years, you become a medical doctor. But wait, you cannot practice without doing residency. At least 1 year of residency for a lot of states in the United States is required for you to actually be licensed and practice medicine. If you do 1 year of residency, you can theoretically be able to get a full license in some states and practice medicine even if you don't finish residency. So after medical school, you have to do residency for the most part to be able to practice in the United States unsupervised, right? So a lot of us would do anywhere from 3 to 7 years of residency. However, for psychiatry, it's 4 years. 4 years of residency to become a licensed or certified adult psychiatrist. And that's it. And if you want to do other subspecialties of psychiatry, because psychiatry itself is a specialty, right? So you have general practitioners, you have, your primary care doctors, family medicine, internal medicine, and then you can add on a specialty. So psychiatry is a specialty of medicine, and then you have a subspecialty, which is what I'm doing, which is a fellowship, which is child psychiatry. Some people do consultation liaison psychiatry, addiction psychiatry, etc., etc. So because I'm in training to be a child psychiatrist, I'm going to talk about that. So to do child psychiatry, you need 2 years of fellowship on top of the 4 years of residency. Now, because child psychiatry is unique in that you can actually fast track, what that means is in your 4th year of residency, you can start your fellowship. So if you know that you want to be a child psychiatrist in residency, go ahead and start getting all those experiences. Tell all your attendings, tell everybody, because, they'll help you. If they see something they think would be helpful for your career goals, they'll bring it to your attention, things like that. So while you're in residency, you can start building your CV and your resume. You can start building your application to be able to apply to a child psychiatry fellowship. There are not that many child psychiatrists, so you will be guaranteed to find a fellowship spot if you are, if you have strong letters of recommendation and a lot of interest in child psychiatry and it shows on your CV, you'll probably match into a child psychiatry fellowship. Okay, so talk to your program director, talk to your mentors at your institution, wherever you do residency. So you can fast track, and it takes off a year of child psychiatry training. So then your 4th year of residency becomes your 1st year of fellowship. And let me tell you, it's a bit much. As somebody who's going through it right now, I'm about to finish my 1st year of fellowship. At the time of this recording, I don't know when the video will be edited and posted. But it's a lot, and it requires a little bit of, planning and, things like that. So that's why I said, if you already know you want to go into child psychiatry in your 1st year of residency, start telling people, start going to the conferences, start building your CV, things like that. If you are on the fence and you decide to do it after your 4th year, of course, you can always do it when you finish residency. You finish out your 4th year, you apply for fellowship, it's fine. You don't have to fast track. I was just, saying for people who do want to fast track, your options and the things you have to do to get into fellowship. Child psychiatry fellowship is slightly different from applying to residency. A lot of, if your residency program has a child psychiatry fellowship, usually they like to take their own residents, so you can apply through that internal application process. If they don't have a child psychiatry fellowship, then you go back in the match, and if you matched into psychiatry residency, you are well versed in the match process, but that would be a whole separate video talking about what is the match and how do you get a job basically as a resident or a fellow. That's a whole convoluted process, but that's essentially the gist of it to become a psychiatrist, board certified and practicing unrestricted in the United States. So however many years of college, right? Usually it's 4 years, but things happen. So however many years of college, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, and as an added bonus, if you become a child psychiatrist, 2 years of fellowship. But if you fast track, 1 year is taken off because your 4th year of residency becomes your 1st year of fellowship, so it's a total of 5 years instead of 6. If you don't fast track, then it's 6 years of residency plus fellowship to become a child psychiatrist. So it's a long process, but it's a long process that involves several thousand clinical hours. We are trained to do psychotherapy as well, so we have several hours of psychotherapy training that we have to do based on the guidelines and supervision requirements that we need to get in training. So, it's a long process, but it's a necessary one so that we can practice medicine safely and take care of our patient population. All right, like I mentioned in a previous video, Med School Insiders has an excellent video explaining the different acronyms other than an MD and DO who practice, psychiatric medicine. So the different acronyms other than MD or DO who may prescribe medications or treat mental illness or mental health diagnosis. So please head on over there to their YouTube channel. They have a great video on that. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.